What's up, y'all? Welcome back for part two of Can a Woman Teach the Bible? We just started getting juicy, so I'm going to get right back into it. But before I do, I just want to say thanks for the view, thanks for the likes and the comments, and I ask of you to share these videos, please, and continue to show support. All right, let's go.
That is the order.
Okay,
do you agree with that?
So before she, stops stumbling over her goddamn words, to answer his question, do you agree with that? And he's asking this question because literally that's the biblical freaking order. That's the spiritual order. And he's asking it because it's a really straightforward question. Obviously, she doesn't agree with it. Obviously. And he already knows that she doesn't. He's just asking to see what the hell she's going to say. And this is something that literally pertains to a lot of liberal women, fellas. A lot of times they'll be out there just running their fucking gums, saying some bullshit, right? That is some bullshit. And then when you ask them about it or press them on the facts, because that's how most men move, according to facts and logic, because that's what we're grounded in. That's what keeps us grounded, and that's how we maneuver and operate through life. Once you ask her a question to gauge where the hell she's at, she'll give you some bullshit and try to justify it. And that's the signs of the liberal women. And most women, because again, most women aren't just going to come out and say, well, you know what? That's true, but I don't give a fuck anyway. This is how I see it, and that's how I'm going to operate. For some reason, they don't want to do that. I mean, they shouldn't do that anyway. I mean, actually, I shouldn't say they shouldn't. If they were to do that, more power to them, but you should already know by that time that, there's nothing this woman could teach you. Number one, you should, let's just keep that clear. And that's not me being a misogynist or knocking women at all. I'm not a misogynist. I love women, number one. Number two, I just keep my life in proper perspective and things in my life in proper perspective. And I understand things for what they are. I understand the women for what they are and what they bring. Women are beautiful and essential. Okay. For instance, my wife we're not equal. Okay. We are not equal. Men and women aren't equal. My wife and I, we complement one another. Together we are better than if we were separate. We accomplish more together. We are a team. And that's the relationship that you're supposed to have with your wife. Obviously, with you as the head. And I know that I don't want to go too far off, the video, but I will say this: I do know that there's some people out there. For instance, there's couples where the man is like the Kawhi Leonard type, like super quiet or whatever, and the woman is what you may call boisterous. But that does not mean that she leads. You have to know what goes on behind closed doors. So, don't just point out relationships that you see like that and say, oh, well, this person is leading, yada, yada, so we can't just look at it like that. And number two, you have to also, be able to critique and get engaged the overall relationship. Like, okay, is that relationship successful? And then what is considered a successful relationship? All that stuff. You have to obviously, ask those questions and then obviously, come to your own conclusion on that. If you're trying to figure out something like that.
You limited that. What I would agree with.
Let me go back. Sorry, I'll go back for some context.
Over children, that is the order.
Okay,
do you agree with that?
You limited that. What I would.
No. See, listen. Don't allow people to try to play a mental gymnastics with you when it comes to things that are very simple and cut and dry. I say this all the time. If it's a duck, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, don't wait for that motherfucker to walk up to you or swim up to you and then tell you it's a duck. You shouldn't have to do all that. You should, okay, it's a duck. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You should already know it's a duck. And no, he didn't, overcomplicate things with this. He asked a very straightforward question. You're about to try to overcomplicate shit by injecting your nonsense into this.
Agree with is that's up and down, but what about sideways? You're just doing it up and down. Okay.
Because that's how the order goes. It goes from up to down. All right, because that it literally says God above Christ, Christ above man, a man above woman, and woman above children. There is no horizontal or lateral movement in that. So see what they have to try to do. They have to try to make up their own bullshit with minus logic and understanding of the Bible to peddle this shit.
Okay.
There is no sideways.
You gonna let me finish? The Bible says that man is the head of his wife, not a woman.
Yes, the man is the head of his wife. That is true. The man is the head of his wife, not the woman. Do you know who's in the head of the woman? The father is the head of the woman. You can't make this shit up. And look. Let me give some backstory about me. I probably should have did this in part 1, but let me give some backstory about me. I'm not one of these freaking, I go to church every Sunday. I can't tell you the last time I went to fucking church, okay? But when I was younger, I did grow up in a Christian church. All that nonsense. I grew up in a Christian church, went to Baptist church for a long time, Christian church, and we did non-denominational towards the latter parts of my church tenure. When I was younger, I'd hated church at first, and then we went to this church in Irvington, New Jersey, called Christian Love Baptist Church, and that was a great church. At least as far as my knowledge went at the time, that was a great church. And I will say this: it definitely helped me as a young boy want to be involved in the church and learn about the Bible. So I say that to say, because of that church, I read the Bible at a young age, like a preteen or not early teen, like a preteen. I read the Bible. Obviously, my level of understanding of the Bible wasn't that of if I would have read the Bible today from cover to back. But I still read the Bible, and a lot of the things within it, just sticks out. Like, for instance, I read a lot of shit when I was young. That's why nowadays I just know a lot of shit. When I watch Jeopardy, I tend to get a lot of the answers. When I watch Jeopardy, there's many episodes, and I mean many, where it's like, wow, if I would have been there, I could have easily have won this. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I'm just saying I have the type of memory that when I read shit, it just sticks in my fucking head. So when I used to read the Guinness World Records books, when I used to read the fun facts books, all that stuff, the almanacs, when I used to just read all that shit, all that stuff just stuck in my head, and it's there. So again, when I read the Bible, and now later in life, I started to notice that a lot of it, actually makes sense, and it resonates more and more with me as I age. So again, I'm not some freaking biblical purist. I'm not, not any of that. I've read the Bible. I have a greater understanding of the Bible than she does. And also, with that being said, I am considered a quote unquote minister. I did actually take a class, and I did become certified as a minister. Now, mainly I did that so that way I can, marry my friends and family members and stuff like that. But I don't do anything with that. I really, outside of that, I don't really do anything with that. I'm not interested in teaching the Bible. There are people out there far more qualified than I to teach the Bible. And again, you have to be, for the most part, called to do so. And I have not been called to do that. Again, I'm just speaking I'm just telling you my backstory. I'm not no freaking, Bible touting freaking Christian or anything like that. I'm not even Christian. So, anyway, we're going on.
Right. So in my house, my husband is the head, and it is beyond me that people will believe that you can't run a ministry and not let your husband be the head of the house. And really,
what do you mean by let him be the head of the house? I mean, a woman don't have to let a man be the head.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, they do have to. That's what submission is.
No, but not because she's letting him to be a head.
Yeah, see, she doesn't understand simple word logic right there.
What you may not realize, and maybe you do, is that a real man of God, because of God's Spirit working through him, his wife has no other choice but to become the head.
No,
to become,
I don't
to submit to him.
I think that's two-way.
See, and you'll hear this a lot from liberal women, and obviously from women trying to parade around saying that they can teach the Bible. But I want to point out the liberal woman part. You hear this a lot. They'll say they don't agree with that. They don't agree with that. And let me tell you this, fellas. In life, as most of you already know, I'm pretty sure most of you already know this, okay? But in life, there aren't many things that are left to be agreed upon, you know? Like, for instance, what she's saying right now doesn't apply. Because you're talking about something that's concrete. You're referencing the Bible and what the Bible said the order is. Now, for you to say you do not you disagree with it, you can't disagree with it and say that you understand and teach the Bible. Obviously, like that, both can't be true. You get what I'm saying? For instance, if I have an opinion and I say, "Hey, I think that that purple sweater is dope," someone can say to me, "I don't agree with that. You know, I wouldn't wear that shit." And that's we have to leave that there. Because that's just a matter of opinion. Because that's subjective. To me, my favorite color is purple, so I fucks with that shit. Yours isn't, so you don't. See, that's subjective. We can't go further in that dialogue about that, because that's just what it is. Now, when it comes to things to be agreed upon or to not be agreed upon, that aren't subjective, obviously it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If I say the sky is blue and someone says, "Nah, I don't agree," or if I say, because sometimes the sky can be red. If I say the ocean is blue, and someone says, "Nah, I don't agree with that. I think it's a deep purple." Bro, there's literally, first and foremost, I can't have a conversation with you anymore, because you literally just jumped into the realm of, or you jumped into a realm where logic doesn't fucking exist, and reality doesn't exist, and rationale doesn't exist, and that's not a realm that I dwell in. So, and as you'll find, most women dwell in that realm where there's literally none of the above, and they can just say whatever, do whatever, and whatever, and justify it in their minds. Whether it contradicts what they say or do, it doesn't matter.
Because you know what? First of all, the Bible says you got to submit one to another. And there's so many men that are not submitted to God. And I would be fearful if I was a woman following a man that wasn't submitted to God.
Okay, so see what she's trying to do? She's trying to say, oh, like there are some phonies out there. There's phonies out there. Look, yes, there are phonies out there, and you're fucking one of them. Sorry, I'm not gonna keep with the kid gloves on here. Yes, I get that. There are fakes out there, and you are one of them. Period. So she's trying to justify by saying, oh, if I was under a man and, he wasn't a man of God, then I'd be fearful and shit like that. Yada, yada. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here with that. Maybe you should do a better job, like you said, in finding out what's in the spirit and not in the flesh. Because if you do that, then you should know, right? And that's your words. That's literally what you said in part 1.
So in the whole order, there's a whole lot of things that have to be put in place. Okay, number one is... No,
there's not. Literally, the only thing that needs to be put in place is the order.
That man submitted to God. And number two, that's what you need to go and look up the definition of submission. Just because a man is who he is in the spirit, and if he married a wrong woman with the wrong kind of spirit on her, that don't make him the head. Because he married her, she has to submit to that headship, or their house is going to be full of hell.
I understand that. You're right in what...
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. And what does that tell you about the nature of the woman? She just said it out her own mouth. If the woman doesn't submit to the man, the household will be full of hell. And as I stated, women have the spirit of Lucifer in them. And if the woman doesn't, out of this woman's own mouth, if the woman doesn't submit to the man, the household will be full of hell.
You're saying, but what I know for a fact is that if a man love what's right, if he loved God more than he loved himself,
but see, you're talking about...
hold on a minute, hold on. If he loved God more than he loved himself or his wife, when that woman come into his life and she is filled with hell, he's gonna love that hell out of her and not the hell in her, so she'll be able to overcome it.
You know what? I think the real thing is that when we're dealing with marriage, I guess when I don't have the problem, because we cast out demons.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I do warfare and cast out demons.
That's funny that you say you cast out demons, because you are a demon. You're a demon. That's literally what the hell you are. You're a daemon. She's a daemon. She's a bloody daemon.
I don't have time to be distracted by issues about a man and a woman, because when me and my husband got together, we were...
No. It's not about issues of being distracted of man and woman. No. You choose not to abide by that, because if you did, you would not be able to go around claiming to be what you claim that you are. That's why. It doesn't fit in. Now, if it did fit in, you would be going around saying that shit. Come on now. Let's use our brain out here, peoples. If it did fit her fucking narrative and her agenda, she wouldn't use it? Well, come on. Of course she would. That'd be the first thing she would fucking say. That'd be the first thing she would say. Look, if there was a Bible verse that said women can teach the Bible, that would be the first thing that they would fucking say. And they would read it verbatim. But because there's not... because they can't teach the Bible, they'll try to go around and play mental gymnastics with you to make you fucking think that, oh, they can. When the Bible clearly says that they cannot.
An agreement on how things will be. He has his house, his children are stable, but I still have a ministry that will not be hindered by what people think. Because what I'm saying to you is that God knew that he put me with a man that would support me and lift up my arms. Because not only that man, but see, the proof is in the pudding. I have a church full of men who are ex-homosexuals, ex-drug addicts,
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that someone like you would attract those types of people. I believe that, of course.
This and ex that. I mean, matter of fact, a month ago, no, not a month ago, several months ago, I've had drug dealers throwing away millions of dollars coming in serving God, getting up under a woman, because they're not following body parts. They're not following what's between our legs. They're following the spirit. And
see again, she's trying to bring it back to that, and no, that's not what it is. So. I can't, man.
And if you know what's going on in the spirit, then you know that these men need to be set free, and they're not bound by culture or even by what men think. Because when the order is set in and people are getting set free, that's all that matters. And
these people are being set free because you cannot set them free, because you are literally misleading them. You are leading them down the path of Luciferianism, the path where they get to say and question the fucking Bible and justify whatever they want to do in the Bible by looking at it through your freaking lewd ass lens. Like, you have this crazy lens that you're trying to just justify everything through, without rationale. And again, when you do that, then you can start, rationalizing anything. So no, you're not freeing anybody.
And a lot of times, ministry cannot go forth because of chauvinism or this false male thing where men are saying what a man should do.
Let me ask you this, Reverend, because of time, and you have a lot to say, and I appreciate that. In the beginning, Adam had a relationship with his father.
Look at that. She's literally, if you look at her left hand, she's throwing up the Marno Canuto hand sign, which is the for the horn god, also known as Pan, also known as Cernunnos, also known as Lucifer. See her left hand? Told you this woman's a freaking Luciferian.
And the father saw that, you know what, Adam need a woman. And so he created this woman, and this woman was subject to Adam as Adam was subject to the father. The woman, according to the scripture, gave into the devil. She believed a lie that she could be like Adam. She could be a god too. And with that nature,
she said she believed she could be like Adam or like God.
She believed that she could be a god, like God.
Okay, but
because she
like
believed
Adam.
it. Yeah, because she believed a lie from the serpent, right?
Okay.
And so the devil made her turn away from her husband and turn away from the husband's father. And
yep, all that's true.
As a result, she took on the nature of that devil, a deceiver.
Yes, Jesse. Yes, Jesse, teach this woman the Bible, because apparently she knows not of it. Teach her the Bible. Like I said, the woman has the spirit of Lucifer in them.
And she was able to seduce Adam away from the father. And so that is what's happening today. She seduced Adam because she now has the serpent's nature, a lie nature, right?
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, let me just finish it. You tell me if it's true or not, and then ask the question. And so Adam was seduced by this woman who now had the nature of the devil, a lie nature, right? And as a result, we fell away from grace. Is that true? Did the Bible say that, and is that true?
Okay, can I answer now?
Well, hold your...
Yeah, so see, look at that. The answer to that is yes, it is true. But obviously she's going to try to, play this game.
Answer, I need to take a break, and I don't want you to start, and then I have to cut you off.
Okay, then. All right.
888-77-53773. 888-77. Jesse, lines are wide open. Pastor Kim Daniel is with me, and we're going to tell you how to get in touch with a church, too. We're going to take a break and be back in a moment. Okay, we're back. Jesse Lee Peterson is here, heard around the world by everybody and their mama. I appreciate you tuning in. 888-7753-773. We pay for the call. Pastor Kim Daniels is my guest. Pastor, I ask, is it true that the serpent seduced the woman, deceived her, and took her away from her husband, turned her away from the husband, and she, in return, turned him away from his father by lying to him and telling him that he could be like God too, and now we're catching hell. Is that true?
I would like to say that is truth, but it's a part of the truth, and that's kind of how we get in error, because error is part truth, and I would say it's a part of the truth and not the entire truth.
See, here we go with the bullshit.
What is the entire?
And I it'd probably be better if I could just keep talking and say it, because I probably forget what I'm trying to say. So if we want to deal with the diagnosis of the problem, which is the manifestations, then that's good what you're saying. But there's a word called epignosis, which gets to the root of a thing. And that's what we need to do to get the root. We need to start with the fact that God never spoke to Eve. He gave the instructions to the head, and the deception.
And Adam gave the instructions to Eve.
Wasn't just on the woman. The deception was on the household. And when the man of God did not, because God gave him order.
You see that when it's convenient, what they'll try to do is pull you into it, brother. You see what she just said? She said, "Oh, the deception wasn't just on the woman; it was on the household." No. It was on the woman, but you know what? Men are accountable for their households.